இல்ல இது பண்ணுங்க. அவர்ட்ட பேசிக்கிறோமா? சார் ஹலோ.
சார் சொல்லுங்க சார்.
சார் குட் மார்னிங் சார்.
குட் மார்னிங் சார்.
சார் 115 பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ் வந்திருக்காங்க.
ஆரம்பிச்சிரும்.
ஆரம்பிச்சிடலாமா சார்? ஓகே. ஓகே சார். ஓகே. So good morning all of you. We are very happy to meet you all through this webinar on data analysis using SPSS. Today is the சார் பேசுறது கேக்குது. நான் பேசுறது திருப்பி ஆன் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா?
கேக்குது சார், கேக்குது.
பேசுங்க தொடர்ந்து. So today is the third session. First session we had an introduction about SPSS and sir taught us how to feed the data and all, and so yesterday was the second session. In the second session we learned about the parametric test, and today we are going to learn about the non-parametric test, and I am very happy for all your considerations. And today we are having the third session, the final day of the final day of our webinar program. On behalf of the Department of Commerce, Parvati's Arts and Science College, I am very happy to invite you all in this fine morning to this webinar program. First and foremost, I am very happy to welcome our esteemed chief guest, Dr. S. Venkateswaran sir, Head Department of Commerce, Mannar Thirumalai Nayakar College, Madurai, and he is entertaining us with his expertise and knowledge in SPSS for the past 3 days. On behalf of the Department of Commerce and participants, I welcome him. Welcome, sir. And I am very happy to welcome our principal, Dr. S. Sukumar, and our head of the Department of Commerce, Dr. R. Bhunendran, and my colleague Hari Prasad, and my technical team of my college who are supporting for this seminar, for this webinar to the third session today. And I am very happy to thank and welcome all the participants from various places. So the participants, we are having a good gamut of participants. The students are there, research scholars are there, professors are there, HODs, principals, and everybody. They have joined us to this webinar, and they have made this webinar so vibrant by their enthusiastic participation. And we are getting every day a good positive feedback from the participants. And today also will be a very fine day for us. So on this occasion, I once again I welcome all the participants, and I invite our esteemed chief guest to commence the session today. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all. Today, the scheduled program is non-parametric test. Before that, I want to tell about correlation and regression, which is a parametric test. Yesterday we left that, so I want to start with the correlation and regression, and I will continue the non-parametric test. First, I want to tell about correlation and regression, which is a parametric test. Yesterday we left that, so I want to start with the correlation and regression, and I will continue with the non-parametric. Sir, okay? Screen sharing therida, sir? Hello? Correlation and regression analysis. This is a parametric test. Actually, you know, I thought yesterday I told the parametric test can be done with the help only when the data related to parametric assumptions, that are the data come from normally distributed distribution, and the variances are equal variances, all these things. So if the data related to parametric assumptions, then only we can done the parametric test. See, the correlation and regression analysis is also a parametric test. First, you take that correlation. Correlation is a statistical analysis which is used to measure the whether there is any relationship exists in between two variables or not. So, correlation analysis is a statistical tool which is used to know whether there is any relation exists in between two variables or not. See, before applying that correlation, we have to ascertain that whether there is any natural relationship. If that natural relationship exists only, then we can apply that correlation analysis, whether there is a statistical relationship exists in between two variables or not. If that natural relationship is not exist, we should not apply that correlation analysis because I will explain with an example. Suppose if you find the correlation between age of husband and age of wife, then we can get that value of R, that is result of correlation analysis, that is said to be a small r, that R value may be 0.98 like that. That means 98% correlation relationship exists in between age of husband and wife. See, in that case, there is naturally relationship exists. Another example, age, there are two variables, that is age of husband, another variable yield of paddy. If you apply that correlation analysis, if you get that R value is equal to 0.98, can you say there is a relationship, 98% relationship between age of husband and yield of paddy? No, that leads to nonsense correlation, because there is no natural relationship exists between age of husband and yield of paddy. In that case, we should not apply the correlation analysis. So, in order to apply that correlation analysis, first we have to ascertain whether there is any natural relationship exists or not. If the natural relationship exists only, then we will go for applying that correlation analysis statistically. We would like to know whether there is any relationship existing between two variables or not. That is the correlation analysis. Actually, that correlation analysis, there are two methods of correlation analysis. One is Pearson product moment correlation coefficient and Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. Among these two, the Pearson product moment correlation is a parametric test. The Spearman's rank correlation coefficient is a non-parametric test. Now we are going to see how to run that Pearson product moment correlation through SPSS. After running that correlation analysis, we have to know how to interpret that. Generally, we interpret like this: if R is, that is the calculated value of correlation analysis, that is R value is minus 0.89, that is 89% negative correlation. If R value is 0.75, that is there is 75% positive correlation. If R is greater than 0.5, we assume that there is a relationship, else no. But in research, we have to interpret in a different way, because that R value can be used to determine whether it is a positive or negative. Then the extent of relationship will be determined by R square, that is coefficient of determination. So in our research, the extent of relationship can be determined with the help of R square, that is coefficient of determination. That value of R can be used to know whether it is a positive correlation or negative correlation. If R value is the negative value, then we can interpret that is the negative relationship. Otherwise, if it is a positive value, we can say that's a positive relationship. In research, that R value can be used only for that purpose. The extent of relationship will be determined by R square, that is coefficient of determination. See, in this table, if R value is 0, R square also 0. R is equal to 1, R squared also 1. But if R is equal to 0.9, the R squared value is 0.81, that is drastically come down. Suppose if R value is 0.5, R squared value is 0.25. Generally, if R value is 0.5, we can assume that there is a relationship. But in research, that is wrong, because that R square value is 0.25. That is only 25% relationship. So in order to tell there is a relationship, there should be at least 50% relationship. Then only we can assume there is a relationship. So if R is 0.5, R square value is 0.25. In that case, we assume that there is no relationship. This is in this way we have to interpret like this. Now let me tell about how to calculate that, how to run that correlation analysis through SPSS. Okay, sir, visible, sir? Okay.
Sir, tell me, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir. SPSS screen is visible, sir.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Now, there are two marks, that is marks in mathematics and marks in statistics. We can see whether there is any relationship between mark in mathematics and marks in statistics. For that purpose, we can run that correlation analysis. For that, first you have to click Analyze. A pull down menu will appear. Then click Correlate. Then another pull down menu will appear. Then you have to click Bivariate. Analyze, Correlate, Bivariate. If you click that Bivariate, you can get that a box here. In that case, you have to select both marks, that is marks in mathematics and statistics, select and push to right side, that is variables. Then you have to see that correlation coefficient, you have to, the default it is in the Pearson. That is parametric correlation. The Spearman, that is non-parametric correlation, rank correlation. So you have to you have to ensure that tick mark is in the Pearson. Then you have to click OK. You can get the result. See, this is the result of correlation analysis. That marks in mathematics, the relationship is that the correlation value is 1, because the same data, the correlation values will be 1. Marks in mathematics and marks in statistics, there is 0.156, that is a correlation value. That means that R value, the R value is 0.156. Actually, there is a 15.6% relationship. If you convert into R square, there is very meager value. And also, if you see that significant value, that is 0.767. It is also less than, it's greater than 0.05. We can assume that the relationship is not significant. If that significant value, if the level of significance is less than 0.05, we can assume that correlation analysis is significant. And also, if you see that R square value, that is very meager. Here, there is, we can assume there is no relationship between marks in mathematics and marks in statistics. In such a way, we can interpret the correlation analysis. The correlation analysis can be used with the regression. See, actually, that in research, correlation cannot be used alone. While using the regression analysis, we can use that correlation also. So, while using the regression analysis, now let me tell about how to run the regression analysis. Before that, we have to understand what is regression analysis and in what circumstances we can. What is regression analysis and to what circumstances we have to use that regression analysis. See, regression analysis is a tool which is used to find the impact of independent variable on dependent variable. See, what here you have to understand what is independent variable and what is dependent variable. If a variable is influenced by other variables, then it is called as a dependent variable. If the variable is not influenced by any other variable, then it is called as a independent variable. The regression analysis is used to find the impact of independent variable on dependent variable. The regression analysis, there are two methods of regression analysis. One is simple regression analysis, another one is multiple regression analysis. If we run regression analysis by taking only one independent variable, then it is said to be a simple regression analysis. If that independent variables are more than one, then it is said to be a multiple regression analysis. See, actually, see, now I want to show how to run that regression analysis. See, here there are two variables, income in 100 rupees, another one variable expenditure. See, here among these two, the expenditure is dependent variable, income is independent variable, because actually that expenditure depends on what income earned. In this way, we can decide which one is independent variable and which one is dependent variable. In these two, expenditure is the dependent variable and income is independent variable. Here we have to find impact of income on expenditure. For that, we have to first click analyze, then regression, then you have to click linear. Analyze, regression, linear. Then a box will appear. Here, the expenditure is the dependent variable. You have to click expenditure and push to right side as a dependent variable, and then select income and you push to the as a independent variable. Then if you click, if you click here, you can get that this is the result of regression analysis. Among these results, first you have to see that value of R square. In model summary, there is a value of R square. The R square value should be greater than 0.3. If it is greater than 0.3, we can assume that model is fit. If it is less than 0.3, the model is not fit. We cannot go for further interpretation. So we have to see that value of R. The R value should be greater than 0.3. Second table, that ANOVA. In the ANOVA, we have to see that level of significance. the level of significance value should be less than 0.05. If it is less than 0.05, that means at least one of the independent variable significantly influences the dependent variable. Here we can assume that at least, suppose here only we take only one variable. From that, that is ANOVA significant value, we can assume that variable significantly influences the dependent variable, that is expenditure. Then you come to the coefficient table. That coefficient table, how to interpret this, that is income, that is unstandardized B value, you should take this, that is 0.663. That means if the value of income increased by 1 rupee, the expenditure will increase 0.663 rupees. That is the interpretation for this regression analysis. See, if that value of income increased by 1 rupee, then the expenditure will increase by 0.663 rupees. That is here where the value. That is the impact. See, actually, if that income increased by 1 rupee, the expenditure will also increase by 0.663 rupees. This is the, in such a way we can interpret that regression analysis. See, this is the simple regression analysis. If that here only one independent variable, that is income. If it is more than one independent variable, then it is said to be a multiple regression. The same way we have to interpret like this. At the same time, we have to see that significant value are here also. If that income, the significant value also 0.021, that is less than 0.5. If it is less than 0.05, we can assume that definitely that income will significantly influences the expenditure. This is the way to interpret in regression analysis. So far I have explained that correlation and regression analysis. Both these are parametric tests. These tests can be run.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, in the output window போகாம இருக்குங்க சார் இதுல.
Output window தான் இப்ப காமிச்சிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
சரிங்க சார், சரிங்க சார், சரிங்க சார்.
Output window தான் காமிச்சி எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
Right sir.
Okay. See, so that regression correlation regression analysis are parametric test. So if our data related to parametric assumption only, we can run that correlation and regression. See, while applying the whether there is a relationship exists. If there is no relationship, it is no meaning to run the regression analysis. See, these are the correlation and regression analysis. Now let me move. Sir.
சார் இப்போ வந்து நீங்க மார்க்கிங் மேத்தமெட்டிக்ஸ் ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் அதுதான் சார் இருக்கு.
எதுல
மார்க்ஸ் இன் மேத்தமெட்டிக்ஸ் ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் இன்கம் அதுதான் சார் இருக்கு, சேஞ்ச் ஆகுது.
ஓ, அந்த இது ரெக்ரெஷன் இது வரலையா?
ஆமா சார், அந்த அவுட்புட் வருது.
இப்ப சார்
ஓகே, சேஞ்ச் ஆயிடுச்சு சார். அப்படியே
சேஞ்ச் ஆயிடுச்சு.
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இருந்தே எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணிடுங்க சார்.
இதான் ரெக்ரெஷன். இது
ஓகேங்க சார்.
Right. See, this is the result of regression analysis. Now, let me move to non-parametric test. Sir, if a non-parametric test வந்துருச்சா? Hello?
சார் வந்துருச்சுங்க சார்.
Right.
வந்துருச்சு.
See, so far we have discussed that parametric test. Parametric test can be used only when if the data are related to parametric conditions. Otherwise, we have to go for going to see what are the equivalent non-parametric test. Non-parametric test. See, we are not assumed any conditions. For any data, we can apply that non-parametric test. See, among these two tests, whether it is a parametric or non-parametric, parametric is a most powerful test, but at the same time, the parametric test should be applied only when if the data are related to parametric conditions. Otherwise, we should go for non-parametric test. That is better, because if instead of applying that parametric test, if you apply non-parametric test, the result will not mislead. On the other hand, suppose our data is not non-parametric data. If you apply the parametric test, the result will be mislead. So better, if you don't know about that your data, it is better to apply the non-parametric test instead of parametric test. If you confirmly know that our data is related to parametric condition, then only you can apply the parametric test. See, these are the parametric test. These are the parametric test. One sample test, that is median test. Two independent sample test, man meeting U test. In the parametric test, we have to apply that independent sample T test, that is equivalent to a non-parametric test is man meeting U test. Then paired sample test equivalent non-parametric test is Wilcoxon matched pair sign rank test. One-way ANOVA equivalent non-parametric test is Kruskal-Wallis one-way analysis of variance by ranks. Then paired sample, that is, if it is more than 3 paired samples, then we have to apply that Friedman test. These are the non-parametric tests. Now let me tell about one by one in detail. First, you take the data. Actually, the data file, I will show that data file. The data file contains 200 observations from a sample of high school students with a demographic information about the students, such as their gender, country, income group, school type, and type of program. It also contains a number of scores on standardized tests, including test of reading, writing, mathematics, and social studies. I will show that data. Okay. See, actually, I explained that data, no, that is a gender, country, income group, school type, type of program, read score, write score, math score, science score, social science score, and two data. First, first you take that one sample test, one sample median test. See, that one sample median test is equivalent of one sample t-test in the parametric. The one sample median allows us to test whether a sample median differs significantly from a hypothesized mean. See, in parametric test, yesterday we applied that one sample t-test. The one sample t-test that can be used only when if you want to compare that one sample mean with the hypothesized mean, that is population mean. Like a way, in parametric test, there is a median test. See, suppose we want to compare the sample median with the hypothesis, that is population median, we have to apply one sample median test. In this example, I have shown that data now. In that data, test whether the median writing score differs significantly from the 50 median. See that data, that sample median, population median is taken as a 50. Whether that right score significantly differ of median of 50. How to run that one sample median test? I will explain. See, one sample. These procedures are recommended if that population involved is not normally distributed. See, that population is not normally distributed, we can apply that one sample median test. Data are measured on nominal or ordinal scales. The sign test and Wilcoxon sign rank test are the non-parametric alternatives of one sample t-test. That is Wilcoxon sign rank test, that is also known as a median test. In this case, the research hypothesis is the population median score of right is different from 50. Null hypothesis, the population median score right is equal to 50. We have to use these settings. I will show by using the SPSS. Okay. See, here we have to see whether that right score median is 50 or not 50. We have to test that. For that, we have to apply that one sample median test, or otherwise it is called as a Wilcoxon rank sign test. For that, you click analyze. A pull down menu will appear. Then you take that parametric test. If you click parametric test, another pull down menu will appear. Here you see that one sample. If you click that one sample, that is another box will appear. You click that field. Here all the test fields are there. If you select all this, select and push to left side, we want to take only right score. So you have to select right score and push to test fields. Then you can click. You have to click settings. In the settings, there is a 1, 2, 3, 4. That is compare median to hyper. If you click customize, you have to click customize test here. Then compare median to hypothesis, that is Wilcoxon sign rank test. If you click compare median, a box will blink. Here you have to type 50 because we take that population median as 50. So you have to type 50 in the hypothesized median. If you run, you can get their result. Analyze. Another time I will explain. One sample. Fields, okay. Just a minute. Okay. Okay. This is the result. In this way, we conduct that one sample median test. Actually, the result is there. See, this is hypothesis test summary. The median of writing score equals to 50. That is a null hypothesis. We applied one sample Wilcoxon signed rank test. The level of significance is 0.000, which is less than 0.05. That is, decision is reject the null hypothesis. Reject the null hypothesis means a null hypothesis is the median of writing score equals to 50. But if you reject it, the median of writing score not equal to 50 is the conclusion. In this way, you can run that one sample median test. Then we will go for Mann-Whitney U-test. Mann-Whitney U-test. This is the non-parametric alternative to t-test for independent samples. In this case, already we taken that data now. In that data, there is where we can take a research hypothesis that there is difference in the population median salaries of males and females. There is no. See, actually, I take this SPSS data. Suppose, now let me tell about how to run the Mann-Whitney U-test, that is equivalent to independent sample t-test. In this case, suppose we want to see whether there is any significant difference exist among the gender with regard to read score. In gender, there are two categories, male and female. Now let me explain that Mann-Whitney U-test can be applied for non-parametric data. In this case, you take that gender, that 0 means male, 1 means female. We want to see whether there is any difference among the gender with regard to the read score or write score, whatever maybe you take. In that case, how to run that Mann-Whitney U-test? First click Analyze, then Parametric Test, then Legacy Dialogues. Again, pull down menu appear, that is two independent samples. First click Analyze, then a pull down menu will appear, then click Non-Parametric, then another pull down menu will appear, then if you click Legacy dialog box, another pull down menu will appear, then you have to click independent samples, two independent samples. Then here you take that reading score, that is test variable, and gender as a grouping variable. Here we group 1 we gave the 0, for group 2 you have to give 1. See, for male 0, for female 1. Then if you continue, there is default in Mann-Whitney U-test. Then click OK. There is a There is a result of Mann-Whitney U-test. See here that male mean rank is 104.24. Female mean ranks are 97.38. Mann-Whitney U-test, this is the Mann-Whitney U-test statistic. The 4,619, that is the critical value of Mann-Whitney U-test result. The level of significance is 0.432. That is greater than 0.05. So in that case, we have to accept our null hypothesis. What is null hypothesis? There is no significant difference with regard to the, there is no significant difference among male and female with regard to median of rank reading score, median of reading score. But if you reject it, that means there is a significant difference existing between male and female with regard to median of reading score. That is the final conclusion. See, in this way we can apply that Mann-Whitney U-test. Mann-Whitney U-test can be used only when, in the case of two, we are in a position to compare two independent samples. The data is related to not normally distributed. Then we can apply that Mann-Whitney U-test. Okay. Then we will move to another, that is paired sample test. Then some then Wilcoxon sign rank sum test. See, the Wilcoxon sign rank sum test is non-parametric version of paired sample t-test. See, paired sample t-test will apply only when data are parametric, and also that will apply in the case of paired data. When the data is said to be a paired, suppose the sample is the same. We can suppose we collected the data from same sample in two different situations. Then it is said to be a paired sample. For example, I am going to test whether my coaching class is effective or not. In that case, I may conduct one test before coaching classes, and I may conduct another test for the same students after coaching classes. So that before mark and after marks is said to be a paired data, because in that case the samples are same. We collected the data in two different from the same population, same persons. That is said to be a paired data. If it is a parametric data, we can apply that parametric paired sample t-test. If it is a non-parametric, we have to apply that Wilcoxon signed rank sum test. So the Wilcoxon signed rank sum test is the non-parametric version of a paired sample t-test. You use that Wilcoxon signed rank sum test when you do not wish to assume the difference between the two variables is interval and normally distributed. Here, in that example, suppose there are two scores, read score and write score. That read score and write score, the marks collected from same set of respondents. So we can take it as a paired sample. In that case, how to run that Wilcoxon signed rank sum test, I will explain through that SPSS. In that case, there is a 2 score. Actually, that read score, write score, that marks collected from same set of students. So actually this is reading score, this is writing score. Then is there any significant difference among these two? Apply that paired sample that is Wilcoxon sign rank test. For that, you have to click analyze, then non-parametric, then legacy dialog, and there is a 2 related sample. See, first you have to click analyze, down menu will appear, then you have to click non-parametric test, then another pull down, then you have to click legacy dialogs, another pull down menu will appear, then you have to click 2 related samples, because that is paired data, no? So you have to apply 2 related samples. If you click 2 related samples, you can get a box here. That is here. You have to select both reading and write score. Reading and write score, you push to that pair. That is variable 1 and variable 2. The Wilcoxon default, the Wilcoxon is tick mark. If not, you have to click Wilcoxon test. Then click OK. You can get that result. See, test. See, in that case, you have to see that test statistics. Here, minus 0.903, that is the critical value. Significant level is 0.366. See, you have to compare that level of significance with the 0.05. If it is less than 0.05, we have to reject the null hypothesis. Otherwise, we have to accept it. Here we take it as there is no significant difference among the read score and write score. There is no significant difference. If you accept that null hypothesis, we concluded that there is no significant difference exists among that reading score and writing score. That is the final conclusion of Wilcoxon sign rank test. The Wilcoxon sign rank test is equivalent to paired sample test in the parametric test. That is the Wilcoxon sign rank test is the non-parametric test. Then we will move to next, that is Kruskal Wallis test. See, Kruskal Wallis test is used when you have one independent variable with 2 or more level and an ordinal data variable. That is, that Kruskal Wallis test equivalent to one-way ANOVA of the parametric test. If you run that one-way ANOVA in the parametric test, that is equal to, in the case of non-parametric test, that is Kruskal Wallis test. So that non-parametric alternative to the one-way ANOVA is said to be a Kruskal Wallis test. In that example, suppose we want to see whether the write score differs between 3 program types. There are in the data, I will explain through the SPSS data. See, here there is a type of program. There are 3 types of program. What are they? Type of program. See, 1 means general program, 2 academic program, 3 vocation program. There are 3 programs are there. Any in order to see whether that type of program influences the read score or write score, whatever may be. We want to see there are more than two, compare the means or median. There are three types of program. So we have to run that Kruskal-Wallis test for that. How to run that Kruskal-Wallis test? First, click Analyze, pull down menu appear, then click Non-Parametric. Another box will pull down menu appear. Then Legacy Dialogs. Then K independent sample. K independent sample. First, click Analyze. Then non-parametric test, then legacy dialogs, then you have to click K independent samples. Then a box will appear. Here you take write score as a test variable. We are going to see whether that the type of program influences the write score. For that, you have to select the type of the program and push to grouping variable. Here, you click the minimum one, maximum. If you certainly tell no, you have to type that value. Otherwise, you have to type the maximum value. Here, only three programs are there. So I type minimum one, maximum three, continue. The default, you have to click that Kruskal-Wallis H value. Then if you click OK, you can get the result. See, this is the result of Kruskal-Wallis test. Here also, here we take the null hypothesis that there is no significant difference. In other words, the type of program has no influence on the write score. That is the null hypothesis. The null hypothesis is the type of program has no influence on write score. Here, you check that chi-square value. That is the critical value of Kruskal-Wallis test. That is 34.045. Significant level is 0.000. That is less than 0.05. So so we have to reject the null hypothesis. What is the null hypothesis? The type of program has no influence on the write score. If you reject it, we can conclude that type of program influences the write score. That is the conclusion. In this way, we can interpret that result of Kruskal-Wallis test. See, you have to see that significant level of significance. If it is less than 0.05, we have to reject it, reject the null hypothesis. Otherwise, we have to accept it. That is the decision-making process. Then we will move. Then we will move to Friedman test. Actually, Friedman test is, in the case of parametric test, we run that paired t-test. No, if the paired t-test can be, that is a parametric test, that can be used only if we want to compare only two means. If there is more than two variable, if it is a non-parametric data, we suppose we want to see whether there is any significant difference among these data, we have to apply Friedman test. In that case, that Friedman test can be used only for related variable, that is paired data. If that data more than three variable paired data, we have to apply that Friedman test in the case of non-parametric data. in our example, there are three subject marks, that is math, science and social science. There are three subject marks. These marks obtained by same set of students for math, science and social science. These three are paired data. Now that is related data because the respondents are same. The same respondents writes maths exam, science exam and social science exam. That marks are displayed here. In order to test whether there is any significant difference among these three subjects, we have to apply that Friedman test. See, Friedman test is non-parametric test. That test can be applied when more than two related variables. For that, you have to click the same analyze, pull down menu appear, then you have to click non-parametric test, then you have to click dialog box, then you have to click k-related samples. If you first you have to click analyze, a pull down menu will appear, then you have to click parametric test, another pull down menu will appear, then you have to click legacy dialogs, another pull down menu will appear, then you have to click k-related samples. In that will appear k default in the Friedman. That is a Friedman test. In that case, we want to see whether there is any significant difference among these three subjects, that is math, science and social science. You have to select these three marks and push to variable, then click OK. Here, the chi-square is 3.59. This is the result of Friedman test. Here, this is the test statistics. The chi-square is said to be a critical value. Then degrees of freedom. Then assumed significance is 0.165. See, you have to compare with the 0.05. That is 5% level of significance. If it is less than 0.05, we have to reject the null hypothesis. Otherwise, we have to accept it. Here, the level of significance is 0.165, which is greater than 0.05. We have to accept our null hypothesis here. What is our null hypothesis? There is no significant difference exists among these three subject score. There is no significant difference exists. But if you accept our null hypothesis, it is concluded that there is no significant difference exists among these three subjects with regard to the median score. Okay, this is the Friedman test. Actually, Friedman test can be run only in the case of more than two related variables, and also the data is related to non-parametric. Then only we can apply that Friedman test. So far I have explained one sample median test, then Mann-Whitney U test, Wilcoxon sign rank test, and Kruskal Wallis test, and Friedman test. And last one we have to see, that is chi-square test. We have to see that chi-square test. I will explain how to conduct the chi-square test. See, the chi-square test is also a non-parametric test that can be used to see whether there is any association between variables, association between two variables. In that case, that chi-square test can be run only when both independent and dependent variable are in nominal category. If there is a nominal data only, if both independent and dependent variables are nominal data, and we are going to see whether there is any association or not to determine the independence, we have to run the chi-square test. I will explain through SPSS how to see the chi-square test. Can be the condition for the chi-square test is the chi-square test can be used for to know whether there is any association between two variables. That is a non-parametric test, but also the test can be used only when both independent and dependent variables are in the nominal category. I will explain through that SPSS. See, in this data, there is a see the gender and residential place. These are the nominal data we have already discussed yesterday. Here, another data related to role analysis. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5. There are 5 variables related to role analysis and another 5 variable related to performance analysis. So by summarizing that, I find the total here. Total role analysis. If you add Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, you can get the total role analysis. If you add that Q6, Q7, Q8, Q9, Q10, you can get the total performance analysis. If you add these two, you can get overall score. Now, I want to see whether there is any relationship between gender and that total score, the gender and total role analysis, total performance analysis, and overall analysis. In that case, the gender is a nominal data. The total role analysis and the total performance analysis, that overall score, these are the scale data. In that case, we cannot run that chi-square test. For that purpose in research, we have to convert into nominal data. How to convert it to nominal data? There is a formula. We have to divide that. Divide that score into 3 categories: low, medium, high. There is a formula that to have a low score, we have to find average and standard deviation. Here, we have to find that average for total role analysis and standard deviation for total analysis. If you take average minus standard deviation value, you take that average minus standard deviation value. If that score is less than that score, that is average minus standard deviation value, we take it as a 1, that is low score. I once again tell, if that score is less than average minus standard deviation value, we take it as a low score. Low score represented by 1. We can do it all these things in the Excel. Then we can import that data from Excel to here. So one, and if the data, if the total analysis is greater than average plus standard deviation, that will taken as a 3. That is a high score. In between these two values, taken as a 2. In this way, I converted that scale data into nominal data here. That is extent of total role analysis, extent of total performance analysis, extent of overall score. Here, 1 means low score, 2 means median score, 3 means high score. So I converted the scale data into nominal data here. In this way, we can apply in our research. We can convert that total score into low, medium, high. But that can be used only for purpose of chi-square, not other purpose. After converting that scale data into nominal data, in that case, suppose we want to see whether there is any relationship between gender and role analysis, performance analysis, and overall analysis, we can run that chi-square test. The condition for chi-square test is both independent and dependent variables should be in the nominal category. How to run the chi-square test? Analyze. Second option, descriptives. A box, dialog box will appear, then cross tab. See, first you click analyze, a pull down menu will appear, then you have to click descriptive. Again, pull down menu appear, then you have to click cross tab. If you click cross tab, there is a row and column variables. In the row, you have to push. We are going to see whether there is any association between gender and performance score, and role analysis score, performance score, total score. So you have to push gender here, and you have to select the extent, because the extent of total score is a nominal category. If it is a scale data, you can see like this symbol. If it is a nominal data, you can see that that symbol. So you have to select that nominal data, extent of role analysis, extent of total performance analysis, extent of overall analysis. After selecting that, you have to push to column. Then you click statistics option. If you click statistics option, you have to click here chi-square. And chi-square, then click OK. Then you have to click continue. You have to continue. Then see, after push to right side, you have to click statistics, chi-square, then continue. Then you have to click cells. In that cells, there is a default in observed. You have to click expected also. Then continue. Then if you click OK, you can get the result of see, this is the result of chi-square. Here, there is a cross tabulation. That is, gender 1 means male, 2 means female. Extent of total role analysis, 1 means low, 2 means medium, 3 means high. That is the cross tabulation. This is the chi-square test. This is related to general and total role analysis. First variable. Here, that chi-square value is 0.609. The level of significance is 0.737. That is greater than 0.05. Here we have to accept our null hypothesis. What is null hypothesis? There is no significant association between gender and role analysis. There is no significant association between gender and role analysis. Here we accept our null hypothesis because that is greater than 0.737. So we concluded that the gender has no association between total role analysis. Then performance analysis. In that performance analysis also, there is a the Pearson chi-square value is 2.839. The level of significance is 0.24. So the hypothesis, null hypothesis is accepted. We conclude that the gender has no association between the performance analysis. This is overall score analysis. In that case also, the level of significance is greater than 0.836. We have to accept our null hypothesis. Then it is concluded that there is no association between gender and overall score analysis. In this way, we have to apply that chi-square test. The chi-square test is also non-parametric test. Suppose we want to compare two variables that is related to nominal category only, we can apply that chi-square test. Okay, that's all. With this, I want to conclude my session. Any questions? Ask, I will explain. Sir? Hello?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any questions? I will explain.
There is any questions you can pose. Sir, there is one question. How to get total role analysis?
How to?
Get total role analysis.
See, actually, I will show. Sir, there is a questionnaire. That is HRD effectiveness questionnaire. There is a 2 dimensions, role analysis and performance analysis. The role analysis has the 5 questions. We can obtain that response through that 5-point scale: strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. So role analysis 5 statements and performance planning 5 statements. These data are entered in the SPSS. Here, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, that is the role analysis data. and Q6, Q7, Q8, Q9, Q10. That is the performance analysis data. If you add that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you add Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, you can get 16. This is the total performance analysis. Total performance. In this way, if you find the total score for all respondents, then we can get the total role analysis. Like a way, we can find the total performance analysis score. You have to add Q6, Q7, Q8, Q9, Q10. If you add, you can get 20. If you add for all respondents, you can get that total performance score. If you add these two things, you can get the overall score. Then I can convert that score into nominal category. For nominal category, that score can be divided into 3 categories: low, medium, high. For that, I take it as a low is equal to score below the score of average minus standard deviation. High is equal to above average plus standard deviation. In between these two, it is said to be say median. That is 1, 2. I represented that by 1, 2, 3 here. See, this can be converted for only for run the chi-square test, because in the chi-square test both independent and dependent variables should be in the nominal. So I converted that score into 3 categories: low, medium, high. That is nominal data. I converted that one, then I run that chi-square test. Okay. Any other question?
Sir, there is one question.
Ah.
Sir, the chi-square test cell value should be more than 5.
Yeah. See, that will I forgotten to explain. Here, you see 3 cells. That is 50% have expected count less than 5. The minimum expected count is 2.04. See here, the percentage value may be up to 50%, that is accepted. If it is more than 50%, that chi-square test is not significant one. We should not run that chi-square test there. We have to see if we can see that result here. 3 cells. Next one is see here, only 33% have expected count less than 5. See, here we may accept that percentage up to 50%. That is okay. If it is more than 50%, that chi-square test is not useful.
Right, sir. Sir, okay. Feedback on the clip, sir, please.
Hello?
Sir, another question, sir.
Another question, sir?
Which non-parametric test is suitable for any kind of data?
I wouldn't understand that question. See, all the tests are depend upon the particular circumstances. Suppose we want to see whether there is any difference exists between 2 independent variables. If it is a non-parametric data, we have to apply Mann-Whitney U test. Like that only we can tell. All the tests are depend upon the particular situation and our objective. We cannot generalize like that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any other question?
Closing the session. I'm very happy to thank all the participants and for your wonderful presentation and interaction. And I thank our esteemed chief guest, sir, for gracing us with all the 3 days with wonderful information. Now I call upon our college principal, Dr. S. Sukumar. Dr. S. Sukumar to felicitate the gathering.
Good morning, all of you. Sir, first of all, I extend my warm thanks to our Dr. S. Venkateswaran, sir, because you are immediately accept our consent to conduct this very glorious session in our college. I wish the Department of Commerce, which is coined this introduction of SPSS. So I wish the Department of Commerce head and other faculties. I wish every participants who are gained knowledge through this SPSS session. It is only from the practice, because I also worked in the SPSS last 10 years. So every day we have to work in the SPSS. Whatever we are having the doubts, we are having help also in the SPSS. Without practice, we should not be expertised in this SPSS. I saw so many questions in the chat box. So that chat box questions are only answered through our own experience. So it is not a closing ceremony. So you can do it your practice in SPSS, because now the SPSS software is available freely in the Google Play. So you can download it and work down. You can generate your own problems. Sir gave very good explanation with so many tools, parametric and non-parametric test. So before deciding your analysis part, at the time of construction of questionnaire, you should be decide about your tools. What tool we are going to be used in our research part. So at the time of preparation of questionnaire onwards, we have to concentrate in the tools. But after construction of the questionnaire, after collection of the data, we are not able to change the data for using the tool. So at the primemost, you have to construct your questionnaire based on tools. So that will be help to you to complete your process easily. So I thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I thank the principal for his good felicitation. And I request all the participants to give attendance in the attendance link, and you are sent with a feedback form. You please fill the feedback form. Only once when you fill the feedback form, you will be given the e-certificate. Okay. Now I call upon our honorable, those who have attended 3 days and given attendance, and those who have filled up the feedback form alone, you will be given the e-certificate. And now I call upon our honorable head of the Department of Commerce, Dr. R. Bhuvanendran sir, to give a proposed vote of thanks.
It's my privilege to give vote of thanks for the persons who are helpful for us to complete this SPSS webinar. First of all, I would like to thank our college secretary, Rotarian N. Sridhar sir, and director, Mr. S. Praveen, for providing the wonderful platform to complete this webinar. And I thank our chief guest, Dr. S. Venkateswaran sir. He immediately accepted our invitation to conduct this webinar, and he spent his valuable time for the 3 days for the success of this program. I thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I would like to thank our principal, Dr. S. Sukumar sir. He's a dynamic person, and we coined this idea, and immediately he accepted and provide all the facilities for the conduct of the program. And I thank our Vice Principal and Dean of Commerce, Dr. G. Srinivasan sir, for his enthusiastic and energetic support for this program. And I thank Mr. L. Prakash Kannan and Hari Prasad for their excellent support for this program from the day one itself. And I thank the technical team of this program. There is the online coordinator, Dr. D. Satyabama, and Susai sir, and Vijay Kumar sir, for their technical support. And I thank every participant across India for their wonderful participation of this webinar on SPSS data analysis. I thank everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your vote of thanks. So I extend my heartfelt thanks on behalf of Parvati's Arts and Science College, Department of Commerce, to all the esteemed chief guests and esteemed participants, the participants from various arena under various cadre, the principals, the HODs, the research scholars, the professors from various colleges. They participated in this program and made this program so vibrant and useful. So on behalf of the college, I am extremely thankful to each and every one of you. So kindly join us in all the college endeavors. So our college is having dynamic programs in each and every department, and I expect your wholehearted support in all the programs like this. So we will be meeting again and again through various programs. So now I am very happy to conclude this program with the notion that this program was highly useful for the 3 days. And I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the participants and our esteemed chief guest. So thanks for joining with us, and I thank all the viewers of this program and their support extended for the successful end of this program. I thank you one and all. I thank our esteemed chief guest once again, and I close the program. Thank you very much. Thank you all participants.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.